All right, we're moving on. The other Game 7 yesterday, Milwaukee and Boston. And for the Celtics, a three-point shooting clinic. They nailed a Game 7 record, 22 three-pointers, everything dropping for Boston. As for Giannis, he gave you all he could. He scored just under 1 million points in this series. Still wasn't enough. The defending champs going home. Celtics moving on to the conference finals to face Miami. Broussard, you picked the Celtics. You never wavered, not once. But are you like a little surprised Boston won back-to-back games to advance?
Surprised? Surprised? Jenna, how can I be surprised when after Game 5 I told you guys exactly what would happen and it came to pass? Nick offers me one of his endless streams of olive branches, and I firmly rejected it. Firmly. Because I believed. I knew the defense was tenacious. Jason Tatum is a monster. I knew it all. But you know what, America? I'm not going to be like Nick Wright. I'm not going to sit up here and gloat. I'm not going to say, Nick, I told you that just because Giannis is the best player in the series doesn't mean they're going to win the series. I'm not going to say, Nick, I told you that the Bucks could not overcome the loss of Chris Middleton. Nick, I'm not going to say, Nick, I told you that the basketball gods were punishing the Bucks for tanking the last game of the season to avoid Brooklyn, the Nets.
That's a good one.
So, and they lost home court advantage, and yesterday it came back to bite them. Because I don't believe in basketball gods. Nick, I'm not going to sit up here and say what you can do with your olive branches. I'm not even going to say, Nick Wright, there is absolutely, positively no such thing as Chris's curse. The Creole curse.
Curse of the Broussard.
Broussard's curse. There's only Nick's nonsense. All right, but I'm not going to say any of that. Because as Wiles teaches us, I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be kind. All I'm going to say, Nick, is this. Is the same thing I said 2 weeks ago before this series started. I said it boldly. Yeah. I said it confidently. I said it with Barry White bass in my voice, chest engorged. Celtics in 7. Celtics in 7.
You know what?
I'm done.
Brew.
And so are your Bucks.
There's only one thing you said there that I could take any issue with. Because you're right. You nailed it. You didn't waver. And this series also, I thought, was going the exact way I had thought it would until fourth quarter of Game 6, which was Giannis would carry them to 2 or 3 wins. The others would help out for one of them, and the Bucks would be able to win this series in 6 or 7 games. And then in the fourth quarter of Game 6, something very important happened. Newly minted superstar Jason Tatum had his first true super-duper star moment of his career. Jason Tatum, in the first game of these playoffs, hit a buzzer-beating layup. Jason Tatum in the third game of these playoffs, when Brooklyn was trying to get back into the series down 2-0, had 39 points and greatly outplayed Kevin Durant. And Jason Tatum, facing elimination on the road against the best player alive, went toe-to-toe, shot for shot with him, and beat him. And then yesterday was Giannis was not great yesterday, but he had been so great throughout the rest of the series. For me, it's hard to really blame him. Grant Williams hits double the threes the Bucks as a whole hit. So yesterday's, to me, was not the story. The story was Game 6. That was the Bucks' opportunity, and Jason Tatum took it from him. Wild. I do have a small issue with Bruce saying the curse of Broussard does not exist when both of his finals picks did not even make the conference finals. That strikes me as a little curious. However, in general,
I'm with Boston. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're like a bad Tinder dater. You just keep switching profiles to see which one is hot right now. However, Brew, you are correct. The curse of Broussard is not what we should be talking about. We should be talking about the Wild's kiss of death. Because Wild's ability to absolutely destroy a team that he had picked against by then picking them is unprecedented. Wilds was all in on the Grizzlies, and then after a bad quarter, he goes to the Timberwolves, and they immediately forget the rules of basketball and blow 3 different 15-plus point fourth quarter, second half leads. Wilds on Friday, Brew, guaranteed a 10-year, not 10-day, not 10-month, a 10-year period of the Celtics' inability to get past Giannis, and they immediately won back-to-back games to eliminate Giannis. I've never seen anything like it. So as much as I would like this to be about me being kind of wrong, Wilds, it's like, you know what? The only thing I'm afraid of the rest of the show, Wilds, that you might pick the Mavs to beat the Warriors. For the love of God, no. Please don't. I beg of you.
First of all.
Because the Wild's kiss of death is terrifying.
It's not a kiss of death. It's not a kiss of death. Everybody knew I was on the Celtics ever since New Year's. Me and Dusty were making the New Year's Celtics graphics, and then I had a brief momentary lapse of frustration. Call it an entanglement, if you will, where I didn't believe in the Celtics. And then guess what? I came right back on. If that is a crime of being committed to something, having a brief time of not being committed and then being recommitted, well, you know what? It's me and Tom Brady. Lock me up and throw away the key. Guilty as charged. Me and the GOAT. Guilty. Oh, I retired, but now I'm back. That's okay. Guilty as charged, Jenna. Throw me to Attica. You guys can visit me. Anyways, Broussard, here's my biggest takeaway from the Bucks that I haven't heard yet. The strangest thing about the Bucks game plan for the last 2 years, the Bucks strategy for the last 2 years, is them running counter to all of the rest of the NBA. It's like, you know what we're going to do? Let you shoot threes. I'm like, what? Really? That's the plan? And it's worked. And I'm always like, wow. It's like cryptocurrency. I'm like, wow, it doesn't really make any sense to me, but I guess it works. They're getting rich off of it. It seems to be working. And it all finally came crashing down. Grant Williams took 18 threes and carried the Celtics past the Bucks. So I'm putting a little bit of this on the Bucks strategy because Giannis did enough, and I know Middleton wasn't there, but it feels like that Bucks strategy finally come crashing back to earth of like, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea to let the other team bomb threes at will. Do you have any issue with the Bucks let them bomb threes strategy?
Yeah, I mean, it's the old school strategy. That's how the NBA used to be played. Pack in the paint, don't let anybody get to the rim, and give them the three. Now, obviously, they're trying to contest as best they can, but they know we're only going to be able to contest so many. And you saw how many of those shots were wide open. How many did Grant Williams miss in the first half? How many did Derek White miss? So you're right. They're going to have to rethink that strategy. Look, they tried to beat him with size yesterday. At one point, they even went with Giannis, Lopez, and Bobby Portis. And they almost doubled them in points in the paint. But the three-point ball, Wilds, they were outscored by 54 points on the three-point line. I think that's an all-time record in the playoffs. You can't win in today's NBA like that.
All right, we'll have Antoine Walker on in a little bit to talk about this game. Moving on is